Hey, Mark. Hey, this is Barks Watch from MTC Media, which are Georgetown-Merrimack. Keys to the game. Now, look, I will not be at tonight's game. This is one of the rare Georgetown home games I will miss. I do have UVA and Texas A&M for the ACC um, SEC Challenge. So I will be in Charlottesville as opposed to in Washington, D.C. tonight. So, but I want to give you a few keys, and we're going to start off with Supreme Cook winning one-on-one battles. So if you haven't watched Merrimack play, they like to play this 3-2 zone that out on the perimeter morphs into a pretty aggressive man, especially on the wings. So a lot of times, if you can get the ball to the high post, around the high post, free throw line, around there, you can get 2-for-1 action. I mean, you can get a one high, one low action, high low action. And if Cook can seal his guy, he is going to have, because how that zone works, he's going to have one-on-one matchups. Now, he is not the most polished guy with his footwork in that painted area. He's a hustle guy. He's a stick back guy, not necessarily a one-on-one move guy. And so it's important for him to be able to score in there when he has his one-on-one, because what Merrimack will do is they'll just wall up, make Cook finish over, and take their chances that he won't finish, or he won't finish at an efficient rate. On top of that, because Cook's free throw shooting is a struggle, that again allows you to feel very comfortable and just playing behind him and just walling up and making him be just better than your guy. And we'll have to see if Cook has that ability tonight against Merrimack. Be quick, not fast. Again, we're talking about that Merrimack zone and the Merrimack defense. The reason why I say quick, not fast is Georgetown, for them to get out running and play at the pace that they want to play at tonight, you have to be quick transitioning from defense to offense on missed shots. Quick at getting into the ball in your hands and everybody flipping from defense to offense, and then getting down the floor, getting into your transition, getting into your secondary transition. But that's going to start with securing the rebound and whatever the first pass is out to the guy, along with whatever the angle of attack is. So think about it like the NFL: inside the numbers, outside the numbers, right? If I get the rebound and my first pass is quote unquote inside the numbers, I probably am going to have attack angles as the primary ball handler, bring the ball down the floor. Now, at some places, they'll say, well, you attack the opposite elbow of the side that you're coming up on. Not every team does that. A lot of teams do that, because what ends up happening there, then the trail guy usually is going to be open, because you're coming across the formation, so to speak. That guy is open, and you can get either a three. If that's a guy who hits threes, you can get a quick ball reversal. It encourages, depending on what you run on offense, that you get into whatever your secondary transition default is quicker. So there's a lot of reasons why teams do that. But for Georgetown, just being able, that rebound first pass and how quick they flip from defense to offense will kind of take away from having to worry about the pace that Merrimack wants to play at. And then you're trying to play fast because you're trying to manufacture pace. Georgetown's not a team that can manufacture pace. That's going to have to come organically, and they can do this. This team gets better with every game. I mean, Singins, the Holy Cross, hiccup, they get better every game. Let's not remember now, there are a lot of flaws with this team, and they're coaching through the flaws. So keep that in mind. Don't settle. What Merrimack lives off of is teams settling on offense, and then them using your miss as their first pass to get early offense. They don't have to play an early offense. They feel very comfortable. They feel very comfortable playing at a slower pace. That's fine with them. But just like any other basketball team of this day and age, you also need to get easy baskets. You cannot play 40 minutes of setup offense. that ship has been sailed. In college basketball, pro basketball, FIBA, it doesn't matter. You're not doing that. So they want to strategically get out and get those easy baskets. It could be fast break, it could be secondary, it could be things, but it helps them on their defensive end because then they get that quick flip using your bad shot as their first pass of their fast break. And then what ends up happening is now you're walking it back up against their 3-2. And that's how they continue to establish the pace that they feel comfortable in. And that's why Sanford went on there. If you look at the first half of the Merrimack Sanford game, in the second half, you'll notice the second half starts off completely different because Sanford's playing that pace. Well, part of it is that they had great defense that allowed that quick transition from defense to offense. Then they were efficient on their offensive end, right? So then that meant that Merrimack could not steal points in transition because they were taking the ball out the basket. So you have Sanford on one end playing that pace, then forcing Merrimack to walk it up and then go against their defense as a settled defense. So, that's why it's important for Georgetown not to settle on shots. Be good at it. Make Merrimack play 40 minutes against your half-court defense. And last but not least, if we're staying, this is all offense for Georgetown. We are staying on the offensive end because we're going to talk about ball reversal against that 3-2. So when you can get ball reversal, having the ball switch sides of the floor, especially if you have room, not necessarily skip, but it can be skip if it's dribble penetration, it can be on a skip. If it's via pass on a skip, not so much. But a ball reversal on dribble penetration or just on a perimeter, what you saw Sanford have is what I like to call one guarding two. Because of the 3-2, if I get below the wing when the ball gets here, what you're going to have is one of their back guys having to guard two players. He's going to have to guard the guy on the wing, and he's going to have to guard the corner. Now, when you play that defense, what you're hoping is that your top wing can get back and close out by having the back guy hold the guy with the ball and really play in between that and the corner guy. So it's supposed to be a hold so the top guy can get back. What Georgetown can do is on the ball reversal, and you saw Sanford do this, on the ball reversal, what they'll do is they make that back guy make an immediate decision. Either I'm getting in and penetrating off of the bounce immediately, or I'm taking that shot, or I'm pump faking to the corner, or if you're out of place, I'm just throwing it straight to the corner, especially if you come out on a closeout at a poor angle. There are so many things that if Georgetown can force the one to guard two side. Now, I can tell you from being in practice earlier this week, you did see some work on getting that ball reversal in and then what to do out of the ball reversal. So, obviously Georgetown and that coaching staff with Cooley are cognizant of this. But those are the keys to Georgetown winning. And this is an important game for Georgetown. And it's somewhat the Maryland situation last night. You have to take advantage when you have these games, especially when you have a cluster at home, and win those games because we're getting into December and some tougher games going to come in the Big Ten. You're going to end up playing 2 conference games, blah, 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 blah. For Georgetown, it's going to be playing the Big 12 event where they want to have to play TCU up here on Saturday. So what you want to do is you do want to establish and get a win against Merrimack tonight, and then take care of business against TCU at home. Now, Georgetown already had one of these challenges on the road when they played Rutgers, and to be frank with you, they played poor. So getting the Merrimack win, building upon that, and then going up against TCU and getting that game is very important to Georgetown, but it can't be so important that you overlook tonight. So again, those are your keys For Georgetown, Merrimack, I will see you live again from Cat 1 on Saturday. Have a good